What's up, family? It's your man, Mark Black. I'm coming on here because we need to address something really quick. And I might end up losing some subs. I might end up losing people that traditionally would maybe support me. But I'm just going to come flat out and say what I got to say. And I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. This isn't going to be edited. This isn't me reading from a script. This is stream of consciousness, straight off of the top of the dome, right from my heart. And I mean every single word. I stand behind every single word. We've seen this incident in Orlando, and I've put out a video in support of the families and the victims of the individuals who were brutally shot and murdered there in Orlando. So I'm not going to say much more about that except to say one important thing. Moving forward in 2016 and for the rest of my days on this planet, I only have two standards that I'm applying to each of my interactions with all of you. That's every person on this planet Earth. All right? If you white folks, pale people, whatever you want to be called or whatever I call you, if you are those people and you are willing to do and sacrifice just what John Brown was willing to do and sacrifice to see that my people get our due and we get freedom from this sick system of racism and white supremacy, then we can talk. We can work together. We can interact. For my black people, my only question is this. Are you ready to unify? Are you ready to unify, people? Are you ready to unify and come together with our one common bond that we share, and that's our melanin? If you can answer affirmative to that question, then no matter if you are Christian or Muslim or Jewish or a Hebrew Israelite or whatever, I'm with you. If you are gay or straight or transgendered or lesbian, I'm with you. If you are rich or poor, I'm with you. If you educated or uneducated, I'm with you. If you are a hood rat or the upper crust, it don't matter, I'm with you. But if you can't answer those questions to the affirmative, both white people and black people, then stay the fuck away from me. Get off my channel. Don't subscribe to me on any social media. Don't make any comments. Don't come at me for any reason because I'm coming at your neck. I am past tired of this lack of unity, this lack of appreciation for the richness and the contributions of people who we want to cut down for various reasons. I've got brothers and sisters that I watch on the daily that are out there in the streets fighting, struggling for my liberation. They don't know me personally, right? I see them in social media. I see them on YouTube. I see them in Twitter or on Facebook or whatever the case may be. They don't know me personally, yet they are out there risking life and limb, risking their jobs, risking everything for my liberation. Some of those people are same gender loving. Some of those people are transgender. Some of those people are Christians. I'm not a Christian. Some of those people espouse ideas and lifestyles and, styles of dress, modes of speech that are just not mine. But one thing that we share is a willingness to lay it all down, to lay everything down for the liberation and the freedom of our people. I stand with them. I stand here today in solidarity with all of them. And I don't give a damn if you like what they do, if you like how they dress, if you like how they talk. None of that shit matters to me. They are my people and I am theirs. I am yours, people. On my channels and in my social media, you will not see gay bashing. You will not see this, that, and the other, about this person's dressed like this, or this woman has weave on, so I can't respect her, or this sister is dating this person or that person. I don't give a damn. Understand? People, there are 3 words that I want you to take and put into your heads. Put into your heads until it's like a mantra, right at the forefront, right in your frontal lobe. And that is this: unify or die. At this particular point in the whole structure of racism / white supremacy, it has become patently clear to us who pay attention that we are considered superfluous, right? We're considered expendable, right? We no longer serve the purposes that they have desired that we serve previously. If they tried to actually enslave us, I bet you a bunch of black people would be up fighting, right? It wouldn't be just so easy to just snatch us all up and put us in the concentration camps like assholes like Alex Jones try to make it out to be. Oh yeah, they try to scare us with these fear tactics, FEMA camps and all this and that. And if you buy into that whole sort of thing, that whole conspiracy theory, fine. Fine. If that's where you at and you believe that, you buy into that, right? You got the evidence you think that supports that whole thing that they're going to try to hurt us all in the camps and do this and that, fine. But I can tell you that I believe that we would fight. And they know we would fight. They know we would fight. So what they're going to try to do these days is twofold. One, they're going to quietly, as possible, as much as possible, right, kill off as many of us as they can. And that's easy enough to do because we help with that, right? We eat shit food, we drink crap water and crap drinks, right? And I'm not bashing our lifestyle. I'm just saying that these are things that we are already doing. They attack us in our food, in our drink, in our clothing choices and all this and that, right? So to judge one brother because he spent $200 on a pair of J's, right? Or, judge a sister because she spent $150 on weave, as if them buying shoes and weave or not buying shoes and weave somehow or another is going to overturn white supremacy is bullshit. There is no area of people activity that they do not attack us in. No area. No area. Okay? Economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Our Queen Mother taught us. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing taught us that there is no area of people activity where whites do not attack us, where the white supremacists, the ones who want to dominate the entire globe, do not get at us. So for all of us picking and choosing our little cliques, all of us trying to preach God to a hungry man, stop being idiots. Stop buying into this fallacy that somehow or another your little chosen area of expertise is going to be the key to unlock all the doors. We need every single one of us. Every single one. Every single one. Doesn't matter if they're the most illiterate, thugged out, hood radish, ratchet, whatever you want to call them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're gay, straight. It doesn't matter if they rich, poor. It doesn't matter. We need every single person. Every single one. So my standard moving forward, and again, if you can't adhere to this, I'm nobody, right? So if you can't adhere to this and you walk away from my channels, you walk away from all my social media, you never listen to Mark Black again. That's perfectly fine by me. But my standard is this. If it fosters unity, If it brings us together as a people, I'm with it 100%. I don't give a damn what else you are. So hear me, black people. I'm with you. I support you. I am in solidarity with you no matter what and who you are, because you are family. You are black. You are African. That's all I need to know. That is all I need to know. If you cannot unify, we will die. And it's plain and simple. This isn't conspiracy. You don't need to have a conspiracy in place, right? This is simple self-interest on the part of the pale people. Their birth rates are dropping. They have all these other things that are environmental factors and things like that. They've had to run, and they know they've had to run. When they were able to prop up a so-called middle class to act as a buffer between us and the ones who stealing everything, yeah, that was great. But even white folks are starting to wake up and see that, wait a minute, they've been sold a bill of goods. Now, is it all of them en masse? Hell no. It ain't nowhere near enough of yous. And I'm keeping it 100%. I still say white people. And I'm going to continue to say white people until there is enough white people that are against this whole entire sick ass system and are willing to stand up and die to end it. But they are starting to wake up as well. We have got no excuse, people. No excuse. No excuse. I know this seems like a rant, and I apologize if it seems that I'm coming at us harshly. But how many more incidents do we need? Right? Orlando was a tragedy. Everybody knows that it was a tragedy. But how many tragedies have we had happen to us where it has not been a single mention of it in the media? Where the president hasn't come out and made a speech acknowledging that there was a tragedy that happened to us. 400 murders in Chicago is not enough of a tragedy for this son of a bitch to actually act in a way to institute a sea change in how our people are being treated or the resources that are made available for us. They don't declare states of emergency when we got criminals and things like that hurting us, doing things to us. They don't declare states of emergency and ask us and our leadership what resources we need to handle the problem. That's not to say that what happened to these people wasn't horrifying. Not at all. I stand in solidarity with all of these people and their families because they were victimized just because I'm a human being. But I'll be damned if we keep crying and praying for Paris, if we keep crying and praying for different lifestyle choices and this, that, and the other, when the fact is that right now there's floods in Ghana. How many people you have or you see with Ghanaian flags on their Facebook profiles or their Twitter handles, and you know, how come Pray for Ghana isn't trending, right? The week that the little kid fell in the gorilla area at the zoo, right? 700 people lost their lives in the Mediterranean trying to escape tyranny from their countries in Africa, right? Where was the outrage? Where was the prayers for that? Boko Haram goes and murders 200 people in Kenya or Tanzania or wherever else they do their dirty shit, right? And there was not a whisper. So I'm not saying that we can't acknowledge the pain, the suffering from other people. But take those tears, take that outrage, take that impetus, that emotional impetus that's asking you to do something, and do something for yourselves. Unify or die. It's as simple as that. We beefing with each other over, oh, you know, this woman over here, she dressed like this, or she a slut. This brother over here, you know, he sit around and smoke weed all day. Instead of you judging them, why don't you go and find them? Go and guide them. Ask them to come to the path of unity. Wherever they are on that path is between them and God. Right? Invite them to the way. I watched the video, and I know this is kind of an aside, but I really needed to speak out on this. I watched the video by the brother Jedi. This is the holy month of Ramadan for Muslims, right? On the Islamic calendar, right? And so he announced that he would not be doing any real media stuff, things like that, right? Out of respect and to enjoy the holy month of Ramadan. Okay. He did this approximately 30-minute video about the gifts that he receives, the feelings that he feels, the experience of Ramadan. Okay? And that video moved me to tears. I don't talk about this much, but when I grew up as a man, when I became a man, I left the religion of Christianity behind a long time ago, and my chosen faith was Islam. I'm putting it out there publicly because I really feel as if I'm probably heading back toward the way of Allah, right? Toward the straight way, the Sirat al-Mustaqim, okay? The straight way, the way of the ones who are actually guided by their Lord. But I ain't going to come here and preach at you. What I'm going to say is that whether you buy into that, right? Whether you accept the Islamic faith, right? There's so much truth there that could guide us right. And one of the truths that I'm about to share with you is directly from the Quran. And the Quran says that we are to guide to the way of our Lord, right? It didn't say grab people and drag them to a destination. It didn't say that. It didn't say that unless they are going, to the same place you are, that they're to be cast out into the outer darkness and they'll end up in the pits of hell. It says that the people who believe, the mu'mineen, are to invite people to the way of their Lord. When you invite somebody, you do it smiling. You do it gladly. You don't be like, motherfucker, get over here at my house. Right? Who would accept an invitation like that? You say, hey, come on, man, come on, Let's go over here. Let's go kick it. Let's, here. And another thing too, when we invite people to unify, right? When we invite them to unify with us, we're not asking them to go the same way. Sometimes people will walk to a destination. Sometimes they'll run. Sometimes they'll jump on a bike and they'll head off, right? Sometimes they'll jump in a car and peel off down the street, right? We all have different ways and means to get to the same destination, but how they get there is on them. And another reason why we need to look at this as inviting people to unify, right? Inviting them to the way of unification is for this one purpose. If I ask you to come to my house, to a particular destination, and you do not show up at my house, I'm disappointed in you. I'm upset at you. I'm angry with you, right? But if I say, hey, my house is on this street, and you can take this way to my house, and you can take that way to my house, right? Then at that point, whichever route you take to get there, when you get there, I'm going to be so glad to see you. I'm not expecting you to be there at a certain time. I just want to let you know that there's a way to my house. Whenever you come here, I'm going to be so damned ecstatic to see you. I'm going to be so pleased to be in your presence. We need, and I am starting to invite you with love, with care, with kindness. I don't care about your sexual preference. I don't care about your religious choices. I don't care about your mode, of speech or the way you dress. I don't care if you wear weave or makeup or if you don't. I don't care how tall you are or how skinny or how fat you are. I don't care what you eat or what you don't eat. I'm inviting you to the way of unity because I love you. When you get on this way of unity with me, whatever pace you walk on, I'm okay with that. Some of us is going to get to unity faster. Some of us is going to get to unity slower. But I just want you to come and join me on the path. That's all I'm asking. And I'm going to be so glad to see you at the destination, my family, my beloved family. I'm going to be so glad. I'm going to be so glad to see you. I am going to be ecstatic, giving all praise and due to God, the Most High, Allah, whatever you call him or her or whatever you want to call God. That's fine. I'm going to give praise to God to see you. Come to the path, people. Unify or die. Because those are really the only two choices that we have been presented with by the grace of God. That's it. It's not any more complicated than that. I promise you, when we get to liberation, when we are free from the stress and the pain and the sheer immensity of the suffering that we've had to experience under this sick system, when we get there and we can breathe a breath of free air and drink a sip of free water. If y'all want to debate about this and that, if you want to argue about which lifestyle preference is preferable, fine. Right? If you want to talk about what modes of dress are better and which ones are not, fine. But we need to feed the people. We need to clothe the people, shelter the people, and defend the people. We need to start from the basics, from the bottom, right? From the base of the pyramid. We need to take care of those needs first. And then as we build a place of safety, as we build a place of protection, a place that we're not dependent upon our own oppressors for our daily bread, then we can start looking at other things. We can start having respectful but vigorous dialogue about those ways of thinking, the modes of being, the ways we worship. We can start looking at all of those things. But Allah, God says, I am God. There is no God but God. La ilaha illallah in Arabic, right? There's no God but God. And there is your brothers. And we are to love both. That's it. Jesus said the same thing. Muhammad said the same thing. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All of the prophets, the way pointers, right? The warners, the messengers came and told us the same thing. There is no God but God. Respect that. And love your brother with everything that you have, everything that you've been blessed with. Unify with him. Hold him close. Sure, people mess up, but never despair the mercy of God. Never despair the mercy, and stop acting like you speak for him. God can get mad about stuff. That's perfectly fine. If God's mad because maybe you ascribe a partner to God, or if God's PO'd about anything that we have possibly done, that's God's right to be mad. You don't get to take God's anger, God's upset, God's outrage and make it yours. You don't get to do that. And we need to stop doing that. If God is angry, that is God's right to be angry. Let God be angry. If God is upset or outraged about something, God can take care of God's self. My job and yours is to get together and love on each other, to do the best we can to make the righteous, the most good life for each other that we possibly can. That's it. Unify or die. Only two choices. Everything that we complain about, every issue that we have, everything that occurs to us, every victimization we experience has one root cause at this point, right? And it is our own lack of unity. We're not to blame for it, right? I'm not victim blaming. I'm not saying that that is solely what's happening to us, but it is primarily on our side of the fence, the one cause. It's just we simply won't get together. We would rather point a finger of judgment, of castigation, of disrespect, of denigration, of discrimination, sometimes of even flat out hatred at somebody who we should be as close to and cleaved to like their own our own flesh and blood. Like, instead of that being my brother, that should be my arm or my fingers or my hand or my leg. That's how I should see you. That's how you should see me. Brother Mark is my eye. He's my ear. He's my foot. That's how close we need to be with each other. And it's not hard. Let go of the anger. Let go of the judgment. Let go of the crap that keeps us from being with each other as a people. If we do this, I promise you, family, if we do this, if we do just this one thing, we could probably wake up in heaven tomorrow. We are not going to all agree on everything, and I know that. Because we're not a stone. We're not a monolith, right? But should we be beefing with each other over the things that we find ourselves beefing with each other over? Who does that serve? That serves the devil, the shaitan. That serves the powers that be that would love to see nothing more than to see us divided so that they can rape, pillage, murder, and destroy us all. They have been doing it for 400, 500, 600 years already. Haven't they had enough? Haven't we had enough? Haven't we given them enough? We've bled for them. We've died for them. We've wounded each other like wild animals tearing at each other's flesh for generation upon generation upon generation. Haven't you had enough? White people, you preyed upon us and taken everything that we are. Everything that we are, you've taken. You've taken our languages. You've taken our culture. You've taken our gods and our thoughts about ourselves. You've taken everything that we are and put it in service to you. And you've grown fat. You've swollen off of it. Haven't you had enough? Is there anything else left that you have to steal from us? I love you, family. I love you with my whole heart. And no more will I ever, as long as I'm black and breathing, cut down, belittle, besmirch the reputation of, disrespect, discriminate against, misjudge, prejudge, judge my own. Each of you are a piece of me, and I accept that. With the pleasure, the sheer absolute pleasure and the grace of Allah. So, take up my challenge. Get at me. Get at me. Prove me wrong, right? You've heard it all before. Yeah. Let's unify. And then when we get together, shit just cracks off. Prove me wrong. Come at me. Don't judge me by the standards that you judged everybody else. Fine, I get it. Right, Reverend Do Wrong, and Pastor, Pastor Leach. Right, I get it. I'm not just bashing on the Christians. Every other religion's got them too. Right, you heard it all before. I'm asking you, I'm begging you to prove me wrong. Come at me, stick with me, unify to me, cleave to me. I beg you. I want you to. And let's see what we can do together, family. Let's see what heaven that we could build, what paradise that God will grant us the capability to bring to this earth together. It's your man, Mark Black. I know this one went long, but sometimes things just have to be said. The Spirit moved me. The Spirit that's in me moved me. Forgive me for any wrong I've done in the making of this video. Any mistakes I made are mine. And all the glory goes to God. Until next time, love, peace, prosperity, and power to my people.